I mentioned the merger. These guys, you'll hear through Connor's story. This is our first in-program merger. Actually, is Joel out there? Connor's not doing too well in the back, so we need you to jump in as other CEO. No, I'm just kidding. He's doing fine. Anyways. All right. Without further ado, Chris Olson.
It's easy to look at these presentations and the way you guys are able to tell the story and think that it all looks good and it's all polished. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. A lot of these guys have been through this very simple term that everyone often uses called pivot. And in my experience, every time a company's pivoted, it's been more like a near-death experience. Good example of this is a service that all of you probably use that you don't realize that you use, called a podcasting service called Audio. You can show of hands of all of you who have Audio on your phone? No? Some of you? Okay. Well, most of you probably have this on your phone. You just know it as a program called Twitter. It's a great example of a team that started down one path, went a totally different direction, and found tremendous success. Connor and the team at Cintric are a great example of a team going through a similar process. They started out with a shopping app, moved into a messaging app, and finally stumbled across the problem that he's going to tell you about today. He's done a great job of moving his team around and putting it in front of a trend where previously in 2006 there were only 3 million GPS devices on planet Earth. This year you're going to see over 1 billion units shipped. And yet despite that, nobody knows quite where you are. Connor can tell you how they're going to solve that, and with that, I'll pass the mic to him.
Hello, everyone. My name is Connor Boland. I'm the CEO of Cintric. We make mobile location tools for developers. Now, when you want to make a mobile application, you begin with an idea, and you eventually want to turn that into an experience for your users. We found this problem when we were going to create a location-based communication tool. We were excited about connecting users to people around them, and so we built out a beta of our application, and we gave it out to people. They were extremely excited to use it. We were extremely excited to give them that experience. And then ultimately, days later, they began uninstalling our application from their phones. This was because of battery drain. Battery drain that resulted from the location services we had integrated from Apple within our application. Now, typically when someone has this problem, we assume there's another larger company out there, a successful one, that's produced a drag-and-drop component you can put into your project and solve that issue. Now, these are things that are not necessarily core to the user experience, but they're still must-haves. For databases, we use Parse. For email, we use SendGrid. For SMS, we use Twilio. For payments, we use Stripe. And for location, we looked. We didn't find anything. So we had this problem. It was something we had to solve. And so we're developers. We decided to solve it. And we tackled it at first by looking at what we had to build. First up was battery drain, that problem that had plagued us from the beginning. So we decided to find solutions. We researched, and we built, and we tested. We built, and we tested, and we failed. We tested, and we failed. We built, and we tested, and we failed, until we finally built something, and we succeeded. We created something that was 95% more efficient battery tracking in the background than always-on GPS. And it still did it accurately. So suddenly we had all these data points. We had data overload. We were getting an array with massive amounts of GPS coordinates. And to find out where our users were, and to be able to better develop our experience for them, we were taking those coordinates, copying them from the server logs, and pasting them into Google Maps. So we realized we needed to create something that would solve this problem for us. And so we built a backend that's actionable. You can see where your users are, and you can find out how to better improve your experience for them. Now, we did what developers do, and we love to show things off. We showed this to a lot of other companies in Brandon outside, and suddenly began getting a lot of interest in what we had built. People wanted to use our services. What we had done was we had taken complexity, we had taken thousands of lines of code, and turned that into a drag-and-drop SDK that's simple. It just takes 5 minutes to integrate in 1 line of code. Now that saves people time. It saves developers over 1,000 hours. That's 1,000 hours that comes between your idea and that experience you want to deliver to your users. That's 1,000 hours that you can spend working on the things you really care about. That's 1,000 hours you can get ahead of your competition. We realized we hadn't just created a solution for ourselves, we had created a solution for a lot of people. A solution that has 3 core components: find, learn, and act. With Cintric Find, we provide location tracking that's both battery efficient and even iBeacon capable. We then use that data to learn with rich analytics and consumer insights, and even location goal conversion. And then with that learning, we allow you to act on it with proximal triggers, and even automatic UI modifications based on location. If you're at home, it's a recommendation for your app. If you're at a restaurant, it can pop up a review. So we deliver to you the content we want you to use at that point in time and at that location. And we even give you the ability to do targeted notifications to the right users at the right time and in the right place. Now let's take a look at how some companies are already going to be using the Cintric platform. We have ones as large as Fortune 1000 companies like the EW Scripts company, and as small as early stage startups. For EW Scripts, they have this application called Storm Shield. It warns users of imminent severe weather. They have a problem right now where they have to choose between accuracy and battery efficiency. This is something that's very important when it's imminent weather that's coming and you want to protect your family. Now, we provide the location tracking that's both battery efficient and iBeacon capable so that they can provide both that accuracy and that efficiency in battery. Next, we're going to help road trippers with Cintric Learn. We will provide them rich analytics and consumer insights and location goal conversion so that when road trippers makes a recommendation, we can tell them whether or not that user actually went to that location and close that loop. This is something that can be even used for mobile advertising. Next, we help early stage startups like PopAd. Now for PopAd, it prompts you to use photo bounties at certain locations. We can increase engagement with them by notifying our users at the right time. So when that user sees that notification pop up, they engage with that application. And they do that at the right time, we're going to have the most success and have the best experience. Now I mentioned earlier that we had looked for solutions we can drag and drop and put in there. And what we found were companies that had been acquired years ago, before hardware technology had caught up. And they now lie dormant within larger organizations. Even modern solutions, like Close to the Point, can provide moderately efficient, battery-efficient location tracking, but they don't provide that actionable backend where we believe some of the real value in this product is. Now when I say we, I mean our team of developers. I'm an iOS developer. Erwin is a Node.js and Android developer. He started his first company at 17. Rhett is an iOS and Node.js developer, and he's working at NASA at their Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And finally, Joel is an iOS and Python developer, and also an accomplished jazz pianist and composer. So what are we going to do? We're going to launch the public versions of these products we built. We're going to write tutorials. We're going to write demo apps. We're going to release these. So when developers think mobile location, they think Cintric. And they build on top of our platform that we've created, integrating their data in our databases, investing in our platform. And ultimately, looking forward, we're going to improve our existing offerings and build more location-based tools. So that way, we can not only let developers improve their existing applications, we actually let them develop new experiences that they didn't even think they could before. If you have a portfolio company that might be interested in developing one of these new next-generation location-enabled experiences, perhaps you just want to talk about location in general, you can reach me at connor@cintric.com. Thank you.